The Bible said it came to pass. Whatever the prophet Elijah said came to pass. Everything. When they started the battle, they were winning and winning and winning. To an extent, they discovered that they almost won the battle. Verse 26. And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too sore for him, he took with him 700 men that drew swords to break through even unto the king of Edom, and they could not. And watch, history have noticed that the swordmen of the king of Edom, there was nothing they couldn't break through. Why would three kings come together to go and consult a prophet? Three kings, you are fighting one king, and you have to add God in the fight because of the swordsmen of this guy. When he is fighting and the swordsmen appear, you are finished. The Bible says he brought 700 of them to break through, which means they were reserved. He brought 700 of them to break through. He did everything he can. The Bible said, and he could not, but they could not break through. Why? Because God was in the battle with them. God went with them. Elisha prophesied. God went with them. But the man said, no, where it has gotten to, it's time to use a different method. He discovered that these guys were not, they are not coming against him ordinary. Because if his 700 swordmen cannot break through, then nothing can break through except a sacrifice. So he now took his first son, the one who would have reigned in his stead, the one who will be a king when he is no longer there. And let me tell you something. One of the things kings fight for is succession. Success with that, a successor is failure. When you are succeeding and there's nobody to take over from you, you have not done anything. So in the olden days, kings always fight for their successor. They make sure their successor is well protected, defended, trained. So this guy, I believe, was going through training. A lot of things. But all of a sudden, it was not a consultation. He never consulted anybody. The battle was so hot that he has no time to consult the wife. Slaughter him, put him on the wall. The Bible said, great indignation. Now it was no longer about skills. When we say indignation, when everything is fighting you, that is what we call indignation. Men, spirits, everything is fighting you. So after the man offered the sacrifice, everything began to fight these guys. The Bible says, and they ran, they departed. Other verses will say, and they ran. The people with the prophet ran. The people with the major prophet Elisha ran. The day God chose Satan over his people. God don't accept human sacrifice. The sacrifice that was offered was not offered to God. And the guy did not even know God. Why will God be defending Israel and another man will offer a sacrifice and they will defeat the people with God? You know that there is no method the devil can use. Probably when they were done with the battle, they went home and said their God defeated their God. But they never knew that it was God who chose them over his people. Before they went for the battle, they also gave a sacrifice. As a matter of fact, when they were going to prophet Elisha, they went with a seed sacrifice to the man of God. But when the battle became sore, God withdrew from his own people. He left them unattended. He betrayed them. He gave them his word, but he never fulfilled it. Do you know how it feels to give someone your word as God? They trust in you, and they are fighting these people based on your word until one act will make you turn away and left them in the field. And they die like something, and they have to run away from the battle. Because if God is a God that changeth not, and whatever he say he does, what happened here? He should have fulfilled his word and now carry them home and educate them. But he betrayed them in the battleground. He left without goodbying them. He just walked away after the sacrifice. He said, you know what, I'm done. And they slaughter his people. The people that believe in the Lord. The people that saw miracle. Water coming out of ditches. No rain, no dew. No sound of rain. They were defeated. And then I know people begin to blame Elisha. You lied. Fake prophet. Now there is something I want you to understand. This king did something. Probably you have heard it over and over and over. But maybe you are about to hear it in a different fashion altogether. The king gave God a sacrifice, and it was not our God, it was his God. If the sacrifice was not for our God or the God of Israel, why did he turn against his people? They sacrificed, he sacrificed. Why was the sacrifice of the king of Moab affected the manifestation of the God of Israel? Why will he be concerned about that type of sacrifice? Because the king gave everything. He gave everything. If it was gold, he had gold. If it was money, he had money. If it was camels, he has camels. We are talking about a king. 3 kings are coming against. They have to train, come together and do years of training and consulted God before they attack. The king of Moab was not an ordinary king. And those days, Moabites were considered one of the most, like, it was a strong economic country. So he could have given his gods anything, everything, but he gave them a son. Sometimes it is not what you have given that really matters. And sometimes it's not in the quantity of what you have given to God, but it is what is remaining after you have given to God. If $1 million will not cost you, God don't need it from you. There are people that can make $10 million in 10 minutes. Those group of people, if you ask them between $10 million and then 10 minutes, they will give you $1 million. Because you are not in the United States of America, let me speak Ghanaian language so that you understand. What I'm saying is that there are some people, 10 minutes to them is costly than 10 billion. The 10 billion you are requesting from them, they can make that 10 times in 10 minutes. So for them to give you that 10 billion and the 10 minutes, they would rather give you the 10 billion and keep their 10 minutes to themselves. If God asks for my day and then I decide, instead of giving him my day, I've given him 1,000. Someone who is not inside, don't know what is happening around me, will say that this guy is a giver. But actually, God looks at what is remaining after you have given. If money will not cost you, he will never ask money from you. You know, we have boiled it down to financial gains, money. It is not just about money. The man was having money, but he gave his son. He had animals, yet he gave his son. He had gold, yet he gave his son. He had servants. 700 men were guarding him. Swordmen were guarding him. Yet he took his son among all of them and slaughter him as a sacrifice and put him on top of the wall. What will cost you? And if God asked you to lay down everything, what is that one thing that will be difficult to lay down? Jesus made a statement that the children of this generation are on their own wiser than the children of light. Because some of the truth and the revelation that the occultic kingdom understand and they practice it, you do your research, you will discover that some of the understanding and some of the things they do, the church will never do it. We have write everything on grace. People are lazy in the church and they are dependent on the grace of God. That's why you will continue to see visa to America as a miracle, because you are depending too much on grace. You don't know how to lay down some things to get some things back. So everybody, they are here testifying. I had visa to the United States of America. Sir. So we have now seen Africa as a curse and see America as a breakthrough. And that is why the grace message has helped some people and cursed some people. Some people are in a big problem. And Africa is a curse. That when they go to America and they deport them back in Africa, they say their grandmother is at work. My house witches, they are fighting me. Why do you think your house witches are fighting you? Have you no idea that God himself can deport you back to Africa, knowing that you are not supposed to be in America? A beggar in America is a beggar in Africa. A rich man in Africa will be a rich man in America. Wealth is not what is in your bank, it is what is in your head. If you are not wealthy in your head, you can never become wealthy in life. Hear me well. If I give you 100,000 and your capacity is 10,000, the money will come back to 10,000. The 90,000 will disappear. You will use it and eat kebab. There are some people, give them 1 million Ghana cedis, they will lose it. They are not wealthy to that level. Don't waste your money. Give another man 10,000 who is wealthy like $1 million. 5 years from now, he'll be $1 million rich. They will grow to that dimension, to that level. Every day we told you that it's money. We have lied to you. There are people, they don't have time for God, but they can send you money. Ask them to come to church for 2 hours. They will not give that 2 hours. But ask them for 100,000. Before you realize, they will transfer that money to you. It is not costing them anything. It is the time that is costing them. And whatever will cost you is what the Lord is looking for. Hear me well. After you have given to God, what remains? That's the question. You say you have given your life to God. After you have given your life to God, what remains? What remains? All of us have given our life. Is that not true? It is the percentage that is remaining after we have offered that matters. You say you gave your life to God, but when we ask you to do some things for God, you cannot do it, which is a sign that there is a percentage that is still in the world. The larger percentage is with the world. It's not with God. That is why we are all here playing and tickling ourselves. Hey, me, I've given my life to God. But it's not actually true. You love some things more than God. Your life is not yet given. You still hold it. It's still in your hands. Hey, you know, we have to also think about ourselves. We have to do this. We have to think about the future. We have to, you have to take, it is my life. No, I've given it to God, but it is my life. It is not given. It is not given. When the Lord asks you to lay down, you lay down everything. The remaining is 0%. In the book of Matthew, Jesus, looking at the people, said that the woman, the widow, has given more than everybody. And the Bible actually said he was the one that gave the list. Yeah, Jesus said he gave more than everybody because there was nothing remaining after he offered the money. What is remaining after you have offered your life? Is there part of your life that is still in the house? Have you given everything to God? Check yourself. There is still a percentage that is in your wardrobe. There is a percentage that is on your bed. You can't leave the bed. There is a percentage that is in the house. There is a percentage. That is why some of you, if you stand in front of a fetish priest, they will do it like this, and you will die. Because the way they are committed, the way they gave their life to their gods, you have not given that to your God. It is the part that is not in the hands of God, they will kill. Whatever is in God's hands cannot die. But if the highest percentage is not in the hands of God, you can be archbishop, you're a dead man in their hands. It's not how prayerful you are. Words with that sacrifice are empty words. I can pray a prayer and the Lord will answer me. You will repeat that same prayer. God will not mind you. Because God looks at the value, not the words. How much is this? 50 cedis, right? How much is this? 1 Ghana cedis, right? Between the two, which one will you choose? You choose the 50 cedis, right? Do you know why you are picking the 50 Ghana cedis? Value. Who placed the value on it? Are they not all papers? If you put this one in fire, all of them will burn. The difference between them is the value. You see, so it is the value that determines the exchange rate. It's the value. It's the value. It's not the paper. As a matter of fact, this 1 Ghana cedi is beautiful than some of the currencies. Is that not correct? Yeah, it's beautiful. Look at this one and this one. Because you place value on this, you will say this one is beautiful. But the 1 Ghana cedi look nicer. A value. When you are praying to God, He don't look at your words. He look at the value backing the words. It is the value backing the words. Father, I pray, give me a miracle, give me a miracle. What miracle? Look at the prayer of Hezekiah. Short and yet powerful. You don't have to pray overnight to convince God when there is no value. You can pray 10 years and nothing will happen. That is why we gather, we pray for men. Nothing is working. We can easily say that you were doing well. But in the eyes of God, He knows that you were not doing anything. He knows. Because He's the only one who knows what was remaining after you have given Him. We do not know. You can give 10,000 and we'll clap. And the Lord said, I reject it. Because He knows what was remaining after you have given. You can be here sweeping and we are clapping for you. And the Lord said, I reject the service. Because He knows what is remaining after you have swept. There is a part of your life remaining somewhere. There is a part. That is why you must give everything. Lay down everything. The king gave. Look, there was nothing remaining. He was swept off. Because kings are not known by how much gold they have. Sometimes kings are feared because of their successes. He gave all. He gave everything. And that was what moved God. And the Lord walked away and said it will be illegal, unaccepted to still defend Israel after what this king have done. I will choose him today over Israel. Pre-adventure, they will learn from him one day.